Did you know that the first signs of autism can appear within the first year of life? As a parent of two autistic boys, I've been through the journey of discovering, learning, and seeking the best for my children. Understanding these signs was a turning point for me and my family, and that's exactly what I want to share with you today. I know how challenging it can be to identify these signs, but I also know that early diagnosis makes all the difference. Stay with me until the end, because I will share not only valuable information, but also some of my personal experiences that might help you navigate this situation more easily and informed. Part 1. What are the first signs of autism? The first signs of autism are behaviors or patterns that differ from the typical developmental expectations in babies. These signs can vary from baby to baby, but are usually related to social interaction, communication, and repetitive behaviors. For example, a baby might not respond when their name is called, may avoid prolonged eye contact, or show little interest in interacting with others. Other signs might include a lack of facial expressions, such as smiling back in response to a smile, or the absence of babbling and typical vocalizations for their age. These behaviors may appear between 6 and 12 months of age, but it's important to remember that every child develops at their own pace. Thus, the signs should be evaluated collectively and with professional guidance. Another characteristic that can be observed is a lack of response to auditory stimuli. A baby on the spectrum might not react to loud noises or the sound of their parents' voices. This often leads parents to suspect hearing issues when, in reality, it could be an indication of autism. Specific signs in babies aged 6 to 12 months. During the early months of life, a baby's development is typically marked by social and emotional milestones. However, some signs of autism may start to appear during this period. Let's understand how they can manifest in daily life. Lack of social interest. One of the first signs that might stand out is a lack of interest in interacting with others. Neurotypical babies generally enjoy smiling back when someone smiles at them or seek to maintain eye contact. However, a baby on the spectrum might avoid direct eye contact or seem indifferent to games like peekaboo. Absence of responses to their name. By around 6 months, many babies begin recognizing their names and reacting when called. If the baby doesn't look or respond to their name after being called several times, this could be a red flag. Repetitive behaviors. Signs like hand flapping, spinning objects, or fixating on repetitive movements, such as watching a fan spin, may also emerge at this stage. While these behaviors don't always indicate autism, they are elements that warrant attention. Failure to mimic sounds or gestures. Mimicking is a natural skill in neurotypical babies. For instance, they tend to repeat sounds like dada or mama and try to imitate facial expressions. However, a baby with possible signs of autism might not mimic sounds or gestures as frequently. Hypersensitivity or hyposensitivity. Babies might display exaggerated reactions to sensory stimuli, such as loud noises or textures, while others may seem unaware of strong stimuli like loud music or the touch of cold objects. These signs, while subtle, are essential to identify early, as they help parents seek professional guidance and prepare for appropriate interventions. Warning signs in babies. Age 12 to 24 months. Between 12 and 24 months, a baby's development advances to significant milestones such as first words, increased social interaction, and more elaborate play. However, in children on the autism spectrum, these milestones may show delays or noticeable differences. Let's explore some warning signs in this age group. Speech delay or absence of words. While many babies begin to say simple words like mama or dada by 18 months, babies showing signs of autism might experience significant speech delays. Some might not speak at all or use only a few words, and in some cases they may repeat sounds or words out of context. Echolalia. Lack of communicative gestures. Gestures such as pointing, waving, or showing objects to parents are common in babies up to 2 years old. The absence of these behaviors might indicate difficulties in nonverbal communication, a common trait in the autism spectrum, restricted interest in objects. Many children with autism demonstrate an intense and unusual interest in specific objects or their parts, such as spinning the wheels of a toy car or fixating on details like buttons. Difficulty with pretend play. Symbolic play, like pretending to feed a doll or driving a toy car, usually emerges by 24 months. Babies on the spectrum may struggle to engage in these activities or prefer repetitive and solitary play. Lack of emotional reciprocity. A notable characteristic of neurotypical children is the emotional exchange with parents and caregivers. At this age, they typically show happiness when their parents arrive or ask to be held when upset. Babies on the spectrum might appear indifferent or avoid these interactions, fixed behaviors, or resistance to change. Another important sign is a preference for rigid routines. Changes in the environment, such as rearranging toys or altering the daily routine, can provoke unusual irritation or discomfort. These signs invite parents to observe their child's development in more detail, always considering that every child is unique. Seeking professional evaluations and guidance can be the next step if there are any concerns. How parents can identify these signs and the importance of seeking professional help early. As a parent of 2 autistic boys, I can tell you that recognizing the signs early changed everything for us. It was a challenging experience, but seeking specialized help early on gave us the necessary support to help them develop in the best way possible. Understanding what's happening not only helps parents feel more prepared, but also opens doors to interventions that make a huge difference in the child's future. Observe social interactions. Pay attention to how the baby responds to their surroundings and the people around them. Do they seek interaction, try to get attention, or prefer playing alone? A lack of reciprocity in interactions is a sign that deserves attention. Evaluate verbal and non-verbal communication. If the baby doesn't babble, point, or try to communicate in some way by 12 months, this could be an indication. Also, observe whether they understand and respond to commands like, "Come here," or "Give me." Note reactions to sensory stimuli. A good tip is to observe how the baby reacts to stimuli such as sounds, textures, and lights. Exaggerated reactions, like being afraid of soft noises or an absence of reaction to loud stimuli, are common behaviors in children with autism. Track repetitive behaviors. Pay attention if the baby shows repetitive movements like hand flapping or body rocking, or becomes intensely focused on objects or activities for prolonged periods. These behaviors can emerge in the early years of life. Keep a developmental record. Note developmental milestones, such as the first words or typical age-related actions. This practice helps to identify delays or atypical patterns. The importance of seeking professional help. If you notice any behaviors that concern you, consult a pediatrician or a child development specialist. Early diagnosis can facilitate access to therapies and interventions that help the child reach their maximum potential. Additionally, understanding what is happening with your baby brings relief and direction for families, helping them feel more prepared and confident about the future. Common myths about the early signs of autism and final advice for parents. Although understanding of autism has significantly advanced, many myths still exist that can hinder the identification of signs or even create prejudice. Let's debunk some of these myths and conclude with a supportive message for parents. Myth 1. If the baby doesn't talk, they will naturally develop speech later. It's common to hear that some babies are late talkers, but this shouldn't be ignored. While speech delays don't always indicate autism, it's essential to investigate if this difficulty is accompanied by other signs, such as a lack of social interaction and non-verbal communication. Myth 2. They don't have autism because they make eye contact. While avoiding eye contact is a common sign, not all children with autism exhibit this trait. Some may maintain eye contact in certain situations, but still face challenges in other developmental areas. Myth 3, it's just a phase, there's nothing wrong. The idea that every child develops at their own pace is true, but it shouldn't be used as an excuse to ignore persistent signs. The sooner a potential delay is assessed, the better the chances of helping the child. Myth 4, autism is the parent's fault. This is one of the most harmful and outdated myths. Autism is a neurodevelopmental condition and is not related to parenting style or behavior. A special message for parents and caregivers. It's natural to feel uncertain or even fearful when observing something different in your baby's development. But remember, seeking help is an act of love and care. Recognizing the signs and acting early can make an enormous difference in your child's life. Talk to professionals, get informed, and don't hesitate to join support groups to share experiences. You are not alone on this journey, and the earlier the signs are identified, the better the chances of providing the child with the support they deserve. Today, we discuss the early signs of autism in babies and the importance of observing them carefully. If you found this content helpful, share it with other families who could benefit from this information. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Explaining Autism. Turn on the notifications bell and leave a like to continue learning about the autism spectrum. Your participation helps us raise awareness and reach more people. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.